Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ironworker Gaming channel. Did you see the new intro? Did you like it? No? Yes? Leave me a comment, let me know if you liked it. If you think I can do better, maybe I'll try to do better. If you like the old one, maybe I'll just go back to the old one. Comment, let me know. Also, liking and subbing really helps me out, so I would appreciate it if you would take the time to do that. It's free, it's easy. Click the like, click the subscribe, I'll love you forever, I promise. And just as a friendly reminder, these videos are mainly focused for lower skill players made by a lower skill player. If you're here to see the Crucible gods pull off some sick no-scopes and drop 50 bombs on the enemy team, you are in the wrong spot. But this information in this video may help you out, so consider listening up. So, we are about 1 week into the season of Worthy, and with the Sandbox changes that they've made with this season, we are starting to see a new meta developed. And this is shifting gameplay in general in a big way. The buffs and nerfs are becoming very apparent in the game. Now, over the last week, I've played a lot of Clash, I've played a lot of Control. Me and a couple buddies jumped into Trials over the weekend with limited success. But I'm thinking that I can see how things are going to shake out. I see patterns in gameplay, I see weapons that I haven't seen before, and I'm getting a pretty good sense of how things will play out in this season. And so far I'm liking what I'm seeing. We have guns that have been powerful for a long time kind of taking a back seat to these new weapons that are coming in and filling their void. But let's take a look at some weapons and abilities that are really impacting the meta right now and give you a sense of what you can expect to see next time you jump into Crucible. As far as primaries go, auto rifles are very strong now. Even in Trials, I saw a lot of people using auto rifles in Trials, which kind of blew my mind, but they're strong. 600s and 720s got buffed with this Sandbox, and a lot of people are trying them out. And I think once they realize what these guns can do in the Crucible, they're gonna stick, because they are very, very effective right now. Suros Regime and Hardlight are seeing heavy usage, especially Hardlight. And Hardlight right now is kind of tiptoeing that line of being extremely obnoxious in the Crucible. I mean, there are bullets bouncing everywhere. A lot of people are just spam firing their ricochet rounds down hallways, getting kind of cheesy kills and putting damage on enemies to clean up kills. It can a little much with the Hardlight right now, but we'll see how things work once it all settles in. And please, please, please do not sleep on the 450s. Now I know in this last Sandbox update, they were not significantly buffed. The 720s and 600s got most of the attention, and that's kind of what people are focusing on right now. But the new auto rifle meta has made room for these guns to be more effective. The 450s can outrange the 600s and 720s, and they pack a little more of a punch, which means less bullets to down your opponent. Don't sleep on these guns, try one out next time. Just try one out, see what you think. I'm telling you, they're feeling better with this current meta. Pulse rifles, with the exception of the slow-firing long-range archetype, kind of got an indirect nerf in this Sandbox. They're still okay. They're doing exactly what they were doing last season, but auto rifles have kind of moved in on their mid-range territory. They're being outclassed in mid-range gunfights by auto rifles all day. Scout rifles remain rarely used, aside from that, stray Jade Rabbit hard scoper that you see every now and again. And bows are still in a tough spot. Now, I never thought bows were a terrible option, at least in the quick play game modes, but they do lack a certain degree of versatility, and you're not seeing a whole lot of bows coming out this meta either. Sidearms and SMGs still remain your best close range option, and they actually kind of got a indirect buff in this Sandbox due to the fact that shotguns' ranges were reduced a touch. Hand cannons are still strong in this Sandbox. I would assume that they are still the preferred weapon of high skill players due to their pick and pop style gameplay, and you could make the argument that these are still the top tier weapons in the primary slot. But auto rifles are definitely competing with them now in ways they couldn't before. And onto the special category slot, we have shotguns, whose ranges were brought down slightly. and they were kind of hit pretty hard as far as general usability goes. This gives other weapons room to breathe at these closer ranges, and it is going to be much harder to secure that 100% kill on your target with shotguns now. Now, a good shotgun player is still going to be able to sneak in there and pop you at close range, but in my experience over the last week, I have been dying to shotguns a lot less in this sandbox than I have in the previous ones. Fusion rifles are still fine in the Crucible if you prefer to use them. Now, the range was brought in a little bit, just as shotguns were, but the high impacts are still a good option when using them in their effective range. Tills and your other high impacts can't reach out quite as far as they could and secure a kill, but they were never really intended to perform at those ranges. They still remain a consistent option, though, for those short mid-range engagements. Sniper rifles are finding a lot of footing in this new meta due to the heavy auto rifle usage, and sniper rifles are almost a must-have weapon in Trials. If you're planning on playing Trials, find a sniper that you like and get familiar with it, because you are going to need it. Now, snipers are so strong because auto rifles require you to be out of cover for an extended period of time and really commit to your gunfights. This is where a sniper can prey on these players. While they're engaged with another player on their team, snipers have clean shots at them. They're staying out of the auto rifle ranges, they're avoiding the bullet spam, and there are some really, really good snipers out there in Destiny. I mean, there are guys seemingly that just do not miss. So keep your head on a swivel when you're running around with that auto rifle, because there's a good chance that a sniper's got you in his sights. On to heavy weapons, which basically saw no real substantial changes. Swords got a lot of attention in the sandbox, but as I figured, this did not promote any more PvP usage with them. Grenade launchers and heavy machine guns are still great. Rocket launchers are reliable for that one single kill. And like I said, swords as well as linear fusion rifles are used rarely in the Crucible. Still in the very obscure category. Supers and abilities also got some very interesting changes. Now, I am a Warlock main. I was mainly playing Warlock all week, so when I'm talking about supers and abilities, they're mainly going to be from a Warlock's perspective. My experience with the other classes is mainly from playing against them, which, if you pay attention, it can give you a good sense of what's going on with the other classes' abilities. Hunters saw their weighted throwing knife lose a lot of its tracking, and also out the window with that went the easy one-hit kill potential of it. These tracked pretty aggressively, and now they're going to take a little more skill to land heads with. But they did get their trip mines back, their sticky trip mines, so the solar subclasses for the Hunters are still seeing a good bit of play in the game. Titans with their shoulder charge are a little less oppressive in the Crucible right now. They actually have to be looking at you when they shoulder charge to hit you with it, unlike the previous sandbox where the shoulder charge would turn a clean 90 degrees to clip you. Also, I believe the lunge distance of it was nerfed a touch, so they're having a harder time getting in its effective range to pop you with the shoulder. Titans did get a new exotic though, allowing them to put up a towering barricade and shoot through it. This has potential to really change the way the game is played. It doesn't have as much health or duration as the standard towering barricade, but it could really affect gameplay in a dynamic way. Warlock's handheld supernova was hit really, really hard. It takes longer to charge, you can hold it for less time, the tracking is reduced, and the blast radius from the projectiles is reduced. It's borderline unusable right now, if you're asking it to perform like it did. But kind of to offset that, the Nova Warp Super did see a little bit of a buff. You're going to get a lot more uptime out of it now. Not to the extent that it was when it first dropped in Forsaken, but the uptime of this super is definitely increased. Your Dawnblade subclasses remain very strong in the Crucible. If you want the extra uptime with your super, you want the bottom tree. If you want the extra mobility, you want the top tree. Also, Warlock's melee ranges were extended. Now, this is a very nice buff to Warlocks because their melees are slower than the other classes, and you can definitely feel the increase in the melee lunge range. In summary, I think the new sandbox we're playing in feels great. I think this might be one of the best sandboxes we've been in a long time. Most every gun kind of has a place if you use it in their ranges, and nothing feels really super cheesy or frustrating other than maybe the hard light spam, but we'll see if that calms down in the upcoming weeks. Overall, this is a really fun time to play in the Crucible. All that being said, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And if there's something I missed or something I didn't touch on, feel free to comment down below and let me know. I am on Twitch. I live stream generally weekend evenings starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And I am on Twitter. If you'd like to send me a message or tweet me something there, I will always respond. That will do it for our Season of Worthy State of the Crucible update. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys on the next one.